protests. It all reached a flashpoint when a black gunman killed 5 police officers in Dallas. It's left many Americans wondering if the race divide in this country is worse than ever. Inside this Minnesota Baptist church, the choir is singing a little louder. And the parishioners are holding their children tighter. It's been a devastating few weeks.
We done had 5 people killed since this time last week. And so I just want a hug from my people. Amen.
I go to prepare a place for you.
This place of prayer has become a sanctuary from violence like this.
And the officer just shot him in his arm. We're waiting for a back. I will, sir. No worries. I will. He just shot his arm off.
A short drive from the church just over a week ago, 32-year-old Philando Castile was gunned down by a police officer after reaching for his driver's license.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead. Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
Keep your hands where they are, please.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll keep my hands where they are.
It sparked protests around America, ending in cold-blooded murder when black sniper Micah Johnson hunted down white police officers in Dallas.
Out here, we got a guy with a long rifle. We don't know where the hell he's at. Rush. SWAT guy, slow down. He's in the damn building right there.
The Revenge killed 5 and left 7 injured. What on earth is going on in this country at the moment?
There's this huge disparity gap between blacks and whites in this country. And we become quite permissive or dismissive of the murders of young black people.
From his hometown in Chicago, Reverend Jesse Jackson says today's civil rights fight is as important as any he's fought in the past 50 years. He believes Philando's shooting exposed America's raw, racist underbelly, particularly within police ranks. How do you describe this moment in American history?
Very violent, because there are those we should choose reconciliation or retaliation and revenge, but for many it's a moment for revenge. And if it comes down to shooting police, they feel they're justified in shooting blacks. And many of them are quite prepared for that fight, and that's a fight that should never be.
It sounds to me like, in terms of racial equality, you're going backwards.
In many ways, it's difficult for me to say that, but it's true.
This is where Philando Castile was killed. He'd been pulled over 52 times for minor traffic offences. Black people tell me they are regularly stopped by police for no apparent reason at all. They call being pulled over DWB, driving while black. There's a very offensive term, DWB, driving while black. Have you heard that?
Experienced it. Highway patrolmen do it. State police. Local police do it.
Is that harassment or racism or both?
Of course it's a racism, and of course it's harassment.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
Last Saturday night, many of those stopped for DWB blocked a major Minnesota freeway. It was meant to be a peaceful protest, but quickly turned toxic. After 4 hours, riot police moved in. It ended with 21 officers hurt and more than 100 arrests in a haze of pepper spray and flash bombs. Is this just racism?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
24-year-old Tariq Zaxon Bey was a riot ringleader that night. He's a convicted felon who claims he's turned his life around, but says he's still unfairly targeted by police. We saw you at the riot. You were pretty angry. You were antagonistic.
Yeah.
Is that the right way to make your point?
If we can't get peace, I mean, it go get ugly.
Uglier than what it is now?
Yeah. I mean, ugly.
To understand why America is in crisis, you need to understand places like St. Paul in Minnesota. The brutal reality is modern-day segregation, a clear divide between safe white suburbs and black ghettos. This St. Paul street is majority black. The average household income is $13,000, down 53% in the last 10 years. Just a few blocks away, it's clearly a very different story. You're saying that racial segregation is still very much a part of American culture and society today.
You can document it. The people have been driven out into poverty, and their homes are vacant, and their lands are barren. So segregation in America is real.
And getting back of the people of color right now. So if they do start arresting...
Misha Grimm founded Black Lives Matter in Minneapolis. The provocative activist group accused police of treating blacks like second-class citizens. From what we saw at the rally, you are angry.
Yes.
Why are you angry?
People die at the hands of police here once every 25 hours. This has become an epidemic here.
Why is it black men?
There's black men, there's black women, there's people of color. Basically, any marginalized community is specifically targeted by police officers because they're at a disadvantage and they're vulnerable. We're at a boiling point, and so many Americans are ready to ignore this conversation and push it off to the side. And if we keep ignoring it, I think that something terrible could happen. And that awful things have already happened.
Boiling point is a strong way to describe it, but that's how you feel.
This past week has been one of the most difficult weeks for American history in a long time.
The Great Divide isn't just happening in St. Paul.
I heard the gunshots came outside my phone, that's nigga laying in the middle of the street dead.
In Ferguson, Missouri, 2 years ago, 18-year-old Michael Brown was shot dead by a white police officer. Here, 60% of the residents are black, but the majority of police are white. Just 8 black officers out of 41. This bitterly segregated city reacted to Mr. Brown's shooting with violence and vandalism.
Oh, they're shooting me. Holy back up!
When Michael Brown was killed right here, most of it was caught on camera. Mobile phone vision has now become the greatest weapon black people have because they know their word against the police is rarely believed. How important are cameras now to exposing the truth about police actions?
The most vital function ever. The cameras are changing the equation. The police forces are losing credibility because they've been found over and over again to be lying and covering up information.
A number of police departments we approached weren't willing to go on camera But the statistics help tell their side of the story. While last year, half the fatal police shootings were white officers shooting black people, numbers also show blacks were charged with 62% of robberies, 57% of murders, and 45% of assaults. The FBI also says blacks are more likely to kill police than be killed by them. Back in Minneapolis, they say all those statistics don't take away the fact that in their neighbourhoods, they're marginalised and racially profiled by police. A solution starts with reintegrating neighbourhoods and police living where they patrol. But before that happens, there'll likely be more shootings and memorials like this. The divisions are so deep, it's hard to know when the United States will stop being the divided states. Do you have hope that if I came and saw you in 5 years' time and asked you the same questions, that you'd be sitting here saying, do you know what, it's got better?
We must go forward by hope. Fear and hate must not set the agenda. Police are afraid, teachers are afraid, parents are afraid, children are afraid. Fear must not set the agenda. Hope must set the agenda. And maybe what we're seeing now in these last 3 killings are zones and acts of pain. And this pain must end. It's too long coming.
Hello, I'm Allison Langdon. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.